Tonight we present
The Disappearance of Maura Murray. It was the afternoon of February 9th, 2004, a cold day on the outskirts of Haverhill, New Hampshire. The region's winter landscape, blanketed in snow and bordered by dark forests, set an eerie stage for an event that continues to baffle investigators, journalists, and true crime enthusiasts to this day. A 911 call reported a car accident on Route 112. When emergency services arrived at the scene just minutes later, they found an abandoned vehicle, but there was no sign of the driver, Maura Murray. Maura, a 21-year-old college student, had left her dorm at the University of Massachusetts Amherst earlier that day. The last thing known for certain is that she had packed several personal belongings and told her professors she would be absent due to a family emergency. However, no such emergency existed. What happened between the time she left campus and the accident scene remains a mystery, surrounded by theories, speculations, and puzzling clues. Haverhill, New Hampshire, is a small rural community nestled in the White Mountains, known for its tranquility and picturesque views. With a population of just over 4,500 at the time, it was the kind of place where doors were left unlocked and neighbors knew each other. The area also attracted hikers and tourists, but the sub-zero temperatures in winter limited activity during that time of year. The accident occurred around 7:30 p.m. on a sharp curve known to be treacherous. Maura's black Saturn sedan had crashed into a snowbank and sustained significant damage to the front. The remnants of the crash suggested that the impact had been strong enough to render the vehicle inoperable. A local resident, Butch Atwood, a school bus driver who lived nearby, was one of the first to arrive at the scene. Atwood stated that Maura appeared unharmed but visibly shaken. When he offered assistance, she declined, telling him she had already called a tow truck. This turned out to be false. There was no record of such a call. Minutes later, when the police arrived, Maura was gone. She had vanished without a trace. Maura Murray had grown up in Hanson, Massachusetts, in a working-class family. She was an athletic and studious young woman, excelling in track and field during her adolescence, and later continued her education at the United States Military Academy at West Point before transferring to the University of Massachusetts Amherst to study nursing. Though her life seemed to be that of an average student with a promising future, there were signs that things were not as simple as they appeared. Days before her disappearance, Maura experienced a series of events that some interpreted as signs of underlying issues. She had been caught using someone else's credit card to order takeout, an incident that caused her some stress. Additionally, she had had a phone argument with her boyfriend, Billy Roche, an Army cadet, the previous weekend. While her friends and family stated that these were minor problems, the circumstances added a layer of mystery to her disappearance. When investigators began piecing together Maura's movements, the initial clues raised more questions than answers. She had withdrawn $280 in cash from an ATM and bought liquor at a store before heading north. Among the beverages purchased was a box of Franzia wine, which was found in the back seat of the car after the accident. She also brought along clothing, textbooks, and toiletries, suggesting she intended to be gone for several days. But where was she going? Butch Atwood's testimony became a key element in the early hours of the case. According to him, Maura showed no signs of having been drinking and was not injured. However, police found a wine stain near the driver's seat, suggesting that she may have been drinking before or after the accident. An initial lead involved AK-9 dog search. The dogs tracked Maura's scent from the car for about 30 meters down the road, where it abruptly stopped. This led to speculation that she had been picked up by a passing vehicle. However, no witnesses reported seeing any other vehicles in the area at that time. The days following Maura's disappearance brought a storm of confusion. The police investigation focused on tracking her last known movements, but the clues were scarce and fragmented. Her family and friends joined the search, distributing flyers and appearing in local media to ask for information. However, the community seemed to face a wall of silence. No one appeared to have seen or heard anything after Maura turned down Butch Atwood's offer of help. As the investigation continued, theories began to emerge. Some suggested that Maura had deliberately decided to run away from her life, escaping personal or academic problems. Others speculated that she may have fallen victim to a criminal act, such as kidnapping or an attack by an opportunistic predator. A less popular but persistent theory argued that Maura may have suffered an emotional or mental crisis, which led her to irrationally leave the scene of the accident, exposing herself to the elements and the dangers of New Hampshire's cold winter. A week after her disappearance, reports emerged of a witness claiming to have seen a young woman walking along the road, visibly upset. While the description matched Maura, the statement came too late to conduct an effective search. Additionally, a handwritten note was found in Maura's room, seemingly addressed to her boyfriend, expressing feelings of frustration and sadness. Was this a clue to her state of mind in the days leading up to her disappearance, or just a passing reflection? The case of Maura Murray quickly gained national attention. However, the investigation was far from over, and answers remained elusive. The story now shifted from the initial clues to a deeper exploration of the theories, key players, and complexities of the case. Maura Murray's disappearance quickly attracted the attention not only of local authorities, but also of state and federal agencies. While her family continued the desperate search for answers, investigators faced a case that seemed to present more questions as they progressed. As the months and years passed, the details of the case took on a nearly mythical dimension, fueled by online forums and growing public fascination. The New Hampshire police worked in collaboration with private investigators hired by the Murray family. One of the first points of focus was a series of calls Maura had made to motels in Vermont in the days leading up to her disappearance. While these contacts suggested she was planning a trip, it was never determined whether she had actually arrived at any of these places. Bank and phone records offered no further clarity. Initial search efforts included tracking dogs, helicopters with thermal cameras, and ground patrols. However, the harsh weather conditions, combined with the lack of concrete leads, hindered progress. The tracks followed by the dogs initially faded abruptly, fueling the theory that Maura may have gotten into a vehicle after leaving the scene of the accident. As time went on, technological developments allowed investigators and true crime enthusiasts to look at the case with fresh eyes. Digital mapping analysis, geolocation data, and in-depth interviews revealed some potential lines of inquiry. Among the most prominent theories were the following. A chance encounter with a predator. Some suggested that Maura, by rejecting Butch Atwood's help, may have trusted the wrong person. However, no witnesses or evidence of suspicious activity were found in the area that night. A planned escape. The meticulous way in which Maura had packed her personal belongings, combined with the tensions in her personal life, led some to believe she had planned her disappearance. However, investigators pointed out that there was no tangible evidence that Maura had organized a long-term escape, such as withdrawing large sums of money or making extended accommodation bookings. Accident in the woods. Given that the area around the accident scene is surrounded by dense forests and lethal winter temperatures, a persistent hypothesis is that Maura ventured into the woods in a state of confusion or panic, succumbing to hypothermia. Despite extensive search efforts in the area, no human remains or conclusive evidence have been found. The case of Maura Murray became an internet phenomenon, with forums dedicated exclusively to unraveling the mystery. Documentaries, podcasts, and blogs have explored every detail of the case, often presenting new theories based on fragments of information. While this attention has kept public interest alive, it has also led to the proliferation of rumors and misinformation. A notable example was speculation about a mysterious man seen in the area on the day of her disappearance. Although this line of inquiry initially seemed promising, it was later dismissed due to the lack of substantial evidence. Another point of controversy has been the role of Maura's boyfriend, Billy Roche, who has faced continued scrutiny despite having a verified alibi. The case of Maura Murray has highlighted the limitations in coordination between law enforcement agencies in missing persons cases, particularly in rural areas. It has also underscored the emotional and logistical difficulties faced by victims' families, who often have to deal with the lack of clear information and the slow progress of investigations. In 2019, an independent search group discovered a bone fragment near Route 112. While it was initially believed to be related to Maura, DNA analysis ruled out any connection. This discovery, however, reignited public interest and renewed calls to re-examine the original evidence. The case of Maura Murray remains one of the most perplexing enigmas in recent U.S. history. As the years pass, the chances of finding definitive answers seem to diminish, but the emotional and social impact of the case endures. Maura's disappearance serves not only as a reminder of how fragile life can be, but also of the complexities of the justice system and the personal struggles that often remain hidden. Despite technological advancements and the tireless efforts of her family, Maura Murray's whereabouts remain unknown. Her case raises unsettling questions about fate, trust, and the role of the community in solving crimes. What truly happened on that cold February night? That question, like Maura's life, remains suspended in time, waiting for an answer that may never come.
The questions don't end here, nor does our pursuit. If this story unveiled something you never expected to discover, then you're in the right place. Remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this tale with others who, like you, are drawn to the unknown. Here, mystery always finds its voice. Until we meet again, where the inexplicable will once again serve as our starting point.